Holy crap, guys, look, we have news. We have Dice Masters news. It came down today, and I'm making this video on the day. I'm probably gonna release this tonight. Like, I'm probably gonna finish recording this video and then just post it because I'm excited about this, and oh my god, I've been waiting. We've all been waiting for any news whatsoever, and finally we have something. So check this out. What's up with Dice Masters? Spoiler alert, it's dead. No, it's not. It's not dead. Spoiler alert, it's not dead. It's still alive. If I can click the article, then I would. I did. Let's get excited. I'm gonna do this though. I'm gonna take a moment. I'm gonna move the thing that way so you can see it better. Hold on. Let's see if we can do it. Let's try this. Let's just get the old zoom. Do the old zoom, the old zoomy. All right, we'll go like that. We'll go like that. That's the one. I know it's gonna be weird. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I got this to where I zoomed in so that you can see it even better. I know, yes, there's like blackness over there. Who cares? Because I care about this update. Check it out. What's up with Dice Masters? Dice Masters fan, it's been a bit since we've had an update for everyone. That's correct. It has been a bit since you've updated us, but that's okay because we're still here. We're here to support the game that we all love. But with in-person play, conventions, and other aspects of gaming returning to normal, so will Dice Masters releases. New schedules for releases are. This is exciting. Look, they've given us a schedule for release. Now here's the thing. Schedules have been very in flux. For the past 18 months, very in flux. And we can understand some of that. Sure, we can understand some of that. But this, it looks like, was a conscious choice to hold on to things so that they can release them when people can play them. And to that point, I understand it. I understand the reasoning. The reasoning is we've designed draft packs. We've made specific sets to be drafted in person. Cards passed around, dice grabbed from a pile in the center of the table. This is how we designed these sets, and we want them to be experienced that way. So why would we, after we've already released, now they said that the Avengers Infinity Gauntlet draft pack sets exceeded their expectations as far as sales are concerned. This to me is a very, very good thing. They said that was the case, and yet they chose not to release another set or two sets to a player base that can't play in person and would just buy the product. That is a very telling thing, because if they just said, you know what, I mean, we designed these draft packs, but we just need the cash flow, just release it. I mean, yeah, they can't draft it because, you know, they're not in person. But you know what? They're gonna buy it from us. We're gonna make the money. We'll move on from there. No big deal. No, they didn't say that. They took these draft pack sets and they've waited, it would appear, so that when in-person play, conventions, and other aspects of gaming return to normal, they can give this product a fair shake. People can meet in the store again, draft in person again, as the set was intended to do. By the way, I still have not done an in-person draft of Infinity Gauntlet, and I think that's a crying shame. There's several people that I've talked to that have done that in person and have spoken very highly of the set. And I also want to say this before we keep going. I don't think it's there's the argument that one can make that is like, yes, but the community can come up with like online ways to draft. You're right, the community could come up with online ways to draft and has done that, but it should not be at the behest of the community to create the ability to play a set as intended. And to Wizkids' credit, they realize that, and they're not just saying, well, you figure it out yourselves. We're gonna wait until you can actually draft the product like it's intended and play the game like we want you to play it. So, okay, all of that, I'm off my soapbox now. I apologize if you were offended by any of those things I said. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you were offended. That's how I feel. And you can tell me in the comments how you feel, and I would be happy to listen. Superman Kryptonite Crisis is the first set to come out in Q1 2022. Not the Dark Phoenix Saga. Dark Phoenix Saga. Why did I say that? That was weird. Not the Dark Phoenix Saga. We've seen a ton of spoilers for the Dark Phoenix Saga Draft Pack set. And we've seen them for the past 2 years almost. And yeah, that's not the first set they're releasing. That's very interesting. I don't know why that is. I would love to know. Hey, Jimmy, or anyone, if you would like to tell us why that is the first set coming out and then the Dark Phoenix Saga is following, I'd love to know. I'm sure there's just like, you know, a logical reason for that, but there it is. It's also interesting too, and we'll talk about why here in a moment. This set is more recent and more updated. This set is more like the old school stuff. They mentioned that down here, actually. We'll talk about that. It's kind of cool though. So we have Superman Kryptonite Crisis at the beginning sometime of next year. So we still have to wait, and that is painful. We still have to wait until next year to actually experience any of these things. But 8 weeks after, 2 months after we get the release of Superman Kryptonite Crisis, we get the Marvel Dice Masters Dark Phoenix Saga Draft Pack set, and that's fantastic. Now, I actually like a 2-month gap in between for a draft pack set. This is not like a gravity feed blind product set. This is like a pseudo blind product in the sense that you're getting way more cards and dice in one singular pack, and you're tailoring what you take home, right? If you're opening up a box of like a gravity feed, then you're at the behest of whatever you open at that time. If you are drafting, you're paying money to literally handpick the cards that you see in front of you and take those home, which is kind of cool. And 2 months is not too far, in my opinion, away, and not too close, right, butted up against them. You get a couple of months to draft this one and a couple of months to draft this one. And then you have Secret Wars, Dice Master Secret Wars, of which we've seen no spoilers, of which we know nothing except that it's Secret Wars. And that's in June. They gave us an actual month in June. And then this is perhaps the most important thing in Dice Masters history. I will say that. The most important product in Dice Masters history is the Marvel Dice Masters Fantastic Four versus Galactus solo play kit. Something that is sorely needed during the pandemic. The solo play kit in June 2022. But you know, this also says something very interesting to me. If they're releasing this June 2022, one, it means that they're still working to get this put together, and two, perhaps it means that this is not just a solo, I can play it by myself, but perhaps this is more of like a PvE style game, wherein you and friends can team up to go and fight Galactus, right? That's, to me, a very exciting prospect. They haven't said that. I'm extrapolating that, but this is a very exciting possibility. So that's coming out in June as well. Now this is, I'm gonna just call this right now, this is gonna function more like a starter set, and I've said that a couple of times in other videos, and that's the reason they're releasing that in June alongside of Dice Masters Secret Wars, the Marvel Secret Wars set. That it's okay that we have a draft pack set releasing next to what is essentially a souped up starter kit, or perhaps a souped up campaign box. It's like an actual, like, full-on with campaign wrapped in campaign box. Okay, we appreciate everyone's patience as we've been impacted by unprecedented delays. That's great. We've been actively working on these sets, and they have more exciting news they'll be sharing closer to release dates. They should share as much news as possible, and they should. Here's what I would do. If I were hired by Wizkids, they said, I picked up the phone on my desk and I said, "Hello, who is this?" They said, "It's Wizkids. I'm literally the boss of Wizkids." And I said, "Hello, boss of Wizkids. What do you need?" And they said, "We'd like to hire you to be the marketing team for Dice Masters." And I'd say, "Okay, I want benefits and high pay." And they'd be like, "Deal. Here's what we need. We need a way to get hype." And I was like, "I got you. This is what you should do. You should drip feed info about these sets and exciting tidbits every other week. If you could, every week. Just drip feed it, like small little drips. And you give the info on a centralized web page, and you just drip feed things like, "Hey, this is happening. Hey, here's a picture of a die. Hey, here's a new idea that we have for a set. Hey, here's this other event. Hey, by the way, this is what OP looks like." Drip feed it. And then you crank the hype up leading up to a set, and you make sure the set hits on time as best as humanly possible. That is what I would do if I were hired by Wizkids as their marketing team. That is what I would do. And perhaps they are doing that, and we just haven't seen the fruits of that labor because COVID is a thing, people. COVID is a thing. So that is how I would approach it if I were them, and I hope they do. I hope they approach it that way. This is interesting. Some readers will realize that the sets are releasing in a different order than originally announced. Yes, because Dark Phoenix was supposed to release prior to Superman Kryptonite Crisis. But that means that right here, this is so that we're able to get product onto store shelves and gamers tables as soon as we can. So that tells me that Superman Kryptonite Crisis is actually further along than Dark Phoenix Saga. But it also says if they can say approximately 8 weeks later, that means they're probably wrapped on this, which means they're very wrapped on this. Interesting. I'd also heard rumors that this was actually complete and on its way to like US shores, like during the pandemic. I don't know. Very interesting. But this is also the really cool thing in my opinion. This means that players will experience a new set with a new look and feel. They have updated the way that some cards or some things on cards function and look. Here is what they mean. I almost skipped over another crazy part. As we approach 2022, also expect news from us on what Dice Masters organized play will look like as draft packs return. This means that they view draft packs as a vehicle for organized play, and that's a fantastic thing, and it's another reason why they wanted to hold back on releasing this during a pandemic where we can't play together, because they apparently want organized play to be a thing, which is fantastic. If you, as an ex-Dice Masters player, miss, like the game of Dice Masters, maybe you left the game of Dice Masters because they killed the Wizkids like opens, like the Wizkids events, the organized play events, then all of a sudden that sentence right there should speak hugely to you, because they just tied their desire to release draft packs in person with Dice Masters organized play. And we already saw during the pandemic this OP kit that you could purchase from them directly, an organized play kit made up of 3 different cards, promo cards. And that's the numbering within those promo cards indicated that those were not the only promos within that OP kit. Okay, like it was like 1 3 5. So like, what's 2 and 4? Dice Masters organized play apparently is back on the menu, boys. It's back on the menu. Everyone show up to your LGS and be like, I want to play some DM. Anyway, this brings us to the final point. Some of these cards we've seen. These are cards from the Superman Kryptonite Crisis set. So like if I click this one, it makes it so tiny. It's so tiny. I want to make it bigger. Here's what I'll do. I'll download them and I'll overlay them on this portion of the video. If you look at these cards, there's a couple of things that you're going to notice. One, like for example, this Batman. God, it's so small. I want to make it like giant. If I open in a new tab, I'm just going to try this, everyone. Just going with it. Can I zoom in? Kinda. I can kind of zoom in. Kind of can. All right, so here we go. This is the interesting thing about these cards, about this set. Really, they've taken a couple of things and they've changed it. So first of all, we have super rare. This is super rare Batman. He's a 6-drop, triple affiliated Justice League Superman character and Bat Family character. It's the same die we've had for Batman for a couple of sets now. The text. So all of a sudden, the font that they're using is an easier to read sans serif font. Sans serif means it doesn't have the little whoop, 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 little lines on each thing. That is fantastic. It's easier to read. And then all of a sudden, look, global abilities are red. But if you're colorblind, you can't see that. Blue, you might be able to see that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not colorblind. There's a blue color blindness, right? I'm gonna Google it. Straight up Google it. Blue color blind. Blue color blind. Yeah, right. Is it red blue or is it red green? I always forget. What's the combo? I'm curious. So what I'm asking essentially, does this make it easier for you to see if you are colorblind one way or the other? Does this help? I'm curious. Is it blue green or is it red green and blue something else? I don't know. Let me know in a comment below. I would love to know. I'm not going to sit here and Google it on camera because that'd be dumb. Waste your time. I don't want to waste your time. But nevertheless, they've changed the coloring of the text here. Also notice they didn't do a drop shadow, and they did a you can see through like a translucent backing for the text. So if you look at the way they handled you know, like these full art cards in the past, they did like a really kind of hard to see drop shadow or hard to see the text drop shadow. Now they're not doing that. They've taken a different stance on how they're doing the opacity on the background layer. What did I just do? Oh, I just zoomed way in. Hey, I could have just done this. How dumb am I? Look at me. Again, full art here. The text is readable there. You can read the text. It's fairly easy to see the text overall. Again, global is blue and not red, so perhaps that's easier to read on this thing. Even if it doesn't affect, like, it doesn't help with color blindness, I hope it does. That'd be kind of cool if they thought of that. Even if it doesn't, it is way easier to read than red on a translucent background. So that's a benefit. We talked about this Harley Quinn like a year ago. It's a fantastic approach for a card. We saw them do with the full art textless cards in Infinity Gauntlet. We saw them do this same sort of full art textless approach. Now they're doing the same thing. They just have the die sides that you can see, and then you just assume it's got one mask, two mask, two mask. Mind Control's a brand new card we've never even seen. It's a basic action. 4 cost. At the start of your attack step, gain control of target opposing character die with a lower level than one of your character dice. It must attack. On the double burst, instead you can take control of a character die of any level. So basically, if your opponent is playing like a big old stompy god catcher, you can take the big old stompy god catcher with a 4-drop basic action card. It's pretty cool. We've seen some of these cards, like I'm pretty sure we saw that one, and we've seen this Mr. Mind. This Mr. Mind's really neat too. We have not seen Starro. Starro is a 3-drop shield character who's a villain with an 011, 022, 277 stat line. See, there's the stat line right there. I was covering it up with my big old noggin. It says if you roll Starro at level 3, here I'll just kind of try to pan that over. If you roll Starro at level 3, re-roll him. When Starro attacks, you can take control of up to 2 target sidekicks your opponent controls. They must attack if able. I just want you to know, it's an 011 or an 022 right here. See, 011, 022. A 277, but you can't actually roll it. You can't actually like roll the 277. In order to get a 277, you have to get this in the field and spin it up or spin it down. That is so clever. That's so dumb. It's so good, man. That is so clever because it's a 3-drop shield. By the way, shields are good. Shields are just generally really good. And we have a 277 possibility. So if people want to play like spin up, spin down stuff alongside their Starros, then good for them. This is a fun card. So this announcement, huge, wide-ranging implications for Dice Masters. This is a huge announcement, one that should hopefully have you incredibly excited about the game and where it's going. I know I am very excited. I'm very relieved and happy that they've actually come out and said some stuff because now we have things to aim and look forward to as well. So that's the video. Let me know if you appreciate this. Let me know if you want to see some more Dice Master stuff in a comment below. Hit the like and the subscribe if you do. As always, everybody, thanks for watching.